and welcome back to Luton Town, where we're doing a tactical view only career mode. The first episode of which, if you have missed it, is linked down below along with the full playlist. That's how things tend to work around here. But spoilers for anyone who hasn't, reasonable start. Reasonable start, but for this episode we have to contend with September, whose calendar looks a little bit like this. It's West Ham at home, Fulham away, Wolves at home, Manchester City away in the Cup. We'll probably just fob that one off. And then Everton away in the league. Reasonable amount of time between the games, so we probably get to be first strength for the league fixtures at least. Manchester City, yeah, we'll leave that one alone. I'll also include the face cam in the highlights this time round, just so you've got a bit of both. I did the first episode as if it was just effectively pure audio commentary, as if it was just on like a fan TV. As a bit of an experiment, this time we'll have the face cam on as if I'm kind of doing a live stream reaction type thing, with effectively my camera overlaid onto the live footage, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to give you the taste of both worlds. The way I record means I can just either include it or not include it as I see fit. So depending on what your feedback is as of this episode, the next episode of this will be on Friday. Also, hi, this is Monday. Apologies if you're expecting Formula 1. That'll be next Monday again. I just wanted to get as many of these out as quickly as I could whilst the series was fresh. So this is just taken over this Monday slot. It will be back again on Friday, and then the next part of the Formula 1 will be next Monday, and it'll probably be like that going forward. I might still have 2 episodes of this a week, but they won't get in the way of the Formula 1 going forward. Only if either the Formula 1 isn't ready, or actually that's it, really. But because of the nature of how this is recorded, there's nothing for me to play in between these, and it takes about the same amount of time for me to record as a Formula 1 episode. So it's a lot easier for me to get one of these done and ready than it is for the Formula 1 where I have to play half a season per video. With that all in mind, admin out of the way, headphones on, you know what I mean, business now. So anything important that happens obviously between the fixtures, I'll let you know about those. Also, I'm keen for your feedback on the audio levels. They sounded about right for me in the first video, but I just want to get your opinion on those as well, because obviously this is a new foray. This is a new game for me, so getting the audio settings right is obviously of utmost importance. They sounded okay to me, like I said, but Scout reports in, if it wasn't for this guy who clearly has options on the back line, I would have thought that genuinely on Matthew Thompson was any of the midfield line or goalkeeper, just where that low one in the back line is placed. But that clearly must be centre-back. I mean, he's obviously not a centre-back with between 30 and 40 defending, though. He's one of those ones that's probably just worth taking a punt on straight away. As for the Canadians, I think we'll let these 3 scout an extra month just because I'm not 100% convinced on them yet. I think we can also release Adu as well as a player because that potential, not any good. But yeah, all these ones still rocking. I mean, Burt looks to be a reasonable prospect already. The bottom end of his potential folding into 81 now. He's been in the academy a couple of months, or a month at least anyway. And Tremblay, current ability 62. I keep calling it the current ability. I'm still used to, obviously, Football Manager, but his overall 62. I think he obviously needs a little bit more development before he's actually in the main squad in any shape or form, but we'll have a look at the 2 new ones. He's come in as a centre mid, but his defending is terrible. Shooting marginally better. He's got reasonably good long shots. I'm actually thinking Cam for him, which is a bit annoying because that's what Tremblay plays, of course, but Cody Johnson's come in as a CF/Cam. I can kind of see it as well, but his passing's not amazing, but then neither is his shooting. I'm actually not really sure what he is. Like, if anything, I think he's probably primarily a winger with the pace, dribbling, and, I mean, passing being marginally better. But with the dribbling and pace, I'd probably think he's a winger, which we don't really play. I'm going to stick him on pressing forward just because I want to get him that defensive work rate. And I can't remember which position it is that doesn't actually allow you to improve defensive work rate on any of the factors. So I wanted to get that to medium at the very least, because I don't think he's a striker. But that kind of update is likely obviously going to be the first part of any of these videos, because those reports come through on the 1st of the month, evidently. But West Ham. But we're at home for this West Ham fixture. Also, just let me know as well in the comments what camera view you prefer for this kind of thing. I've put it on tele broadcast, which I think is the best of both worlds kind of camera for this situation. But a good interception from Nakamba off the bat there. I say off the bat, we're 6 minutes in already. Fortunately, possession has fallen back to West Ham and has remained so for the time being. Kufal being forced back a little bit, but Antonio drops deep to help out. Comes through Kufal again, but intercepted by Osho. Adebayo's got a bit of work to do here, and yep, fails at it. And unfortunately, our left-hand side has been exposed there with a rash charge from one of our players. Antonio pulls it back. Paqueta, trying to make it 4 goals in 4, is at least thwarted by Kaminsky there. Should say as well, in the off time, I feel like... Oh no, never mind. We'll return to that thought in a moment, as once again, we have been done on the second phase of a corner, as Bowen headbutts the corner post. Why, Bowen? Why? Why was that your celebration? I shouldn't have started talking about something on our second phase of the corner, because this is just where we concede all the time for some reason. It's weird that this is a thing in both Football Manager and regular EAFC. Like, the amount of times you get done on the second phase of set pieces in Football Manager is absurd. and it, for some reason, is carrying over here. Winning the goal, irritatingly. But Mavropanos on the ball. What I was saying, though, is I'm going to commit to the 5-back system because it's what Luton played as standard. So I might as well just try and see if I can get a 5-back system to work in career mode. I don't know if there are OP tactics in career mode anyway, but I think it might just be fun to try. Nakamba does get that ball off the advancing West Ham player, which is lovely. And Giles now running to the wrong side of the pitch. What are you doing over here, Giles? That's an ambitious ball, which does get intercepted naturally by Mavropanos. Souček falls back to Agurd. But the point of me talking about the 5-back system is that I have kind of prioritised in terms of scouting right now, right wing back and left wing back. Kabori seems to have relatively good potential, it seems. So we'll probably obviously stick with him as the primary on that right-hand side. Get him the game time, get him the development. But we do need someone over there, preferably a backup then, just so we're not relying on the centre-forward Ogbene. A good chance, though, for Adebayo. Great save by Areola. Got distracted by the graphics there. Sambi Lokonga. Force that ball in. Nakamba on the outside of the box. Barkley onside. Is he? Yes. Tackled once. Maintains possession, though. Nakamba again. Kabore's been found. Back heels it. Sambi Lokonga, Barkley. There's good passing play, actually. I am worried that it's going to end up in absolutely nothing. But Morris! Another good shot at Areola. Palms out to Emerson, unfortunately. Not another corner. Getting a couple of chances now. We just have to be a little bit better. We just have to be a little bit better at that. Obviously, strikers. Another fundamental piece of this picture. Like, not to be totally dismissive of them, and genuinely concerned Antonio was going to score from that angle. Oh, it's a save, apparently. That must have been the slightest of fingertip saves then, because I did not see the contact. Shot option being provided. Is that Fornals? It is Fornals. Bowen. Alvarez. Oh, look! Corner again. Why is this a thing? This isn't really the second phase because we never got the possession in the first place, but we seem to just be incapable of defending corners that aren't just regular corners popped into the box directly. As long as the corner is passed out, or then it then gets headed out and then into regular possession again in the second phase, at that point we become incapable of defending again. Emerson, we've gained possession. Barkley can't find the ball through, but he's got the possession back himself. Strikes from distance, obviously blocked, and that's half time. So we've been undone by 2 corners. 1 second phase, 1 just directly short pass worked into the box. Ross Barkley getting slated by the statistics at half time there. I'll be honest, as the second half kicks off, 2-0 down and we're immediately challenged by Paqueta. This is much more like the day at the office that I was expecting to have 3-0 last time out. Like the Brighton game ended up kind of how I was expecting. The Burnley game obviously was the game that we felt that we probably ought to be winning and needed to win. And even getting a point at struggling Chelsea still felt like a victory. But 3-0 down at a West Ham side that seemed to be irritatingly competent so far. I can't remember if they're one of the teams that had 3 wins from 3 or not. I know Forest were, somehow. But Kabore, can we get something that resembles compensation? Or consolation, that's the word. If we can get something that resembles consolation, there's no way we're getting 3 goals back. And oh look, they're looking dangerous again. In a weird way, I'm just glad to have actually conceded a goal that wasn't from a corner. Okay, with a sensible pass. The worst part is I actually added defensive temporary play styles to some of these players. Fact how good they've done so far. 2 intercepts amongst them as well. This should be a goal. Why is Adebayo taking 3 days to line up that shot? Alright, well, striker's definitely on the docket then. I can't go to put this corner in as we take Morris off for Woodrow and Barkley off for Chong. Obviously 2 of our better players realistically, but they were the most tired. And not performing well. Chong tries to line up a shot, fails, that's blocked. I mean, we have forced Areola into 2 saves. But even if we had converted both, we'd still be losing. For a team that's playing as a 5-back, we're doing absolutely terribly at cutting out their kind of wing play. You'd think this would be the strength of having a 5-back system is we have wing backs, which should help neuter wing play. And oh, they're in again. An incredibly rash challenge from I don't know who that was. 4 hours, I think it might be. He completely missed the player, thankfully, and that attempted flare fortunately still works out into our possession. Adebayo to Chong. Back to Adebayo. Space is there. All right, that's now 3 saves. Wait, I'll be honest, I'm making substitutions now. I don't normally include it in the highlights. Genuinely just discovered that Doughty can play right wing back. I mean, he is left-footed, so we'll actually bring up Benny up front then. Yeah, considering how rash that challenge for now was nearly attempted there. Probably good he took him off. But Giles Kabore, Adebayo off for Luton, Doughty, Bell and Ogbene on. But yeah, both wing backs off and Adebayo. And that corner is easily saved by Areola, irritatingly. It's a very frustrating match to watch, if I'm honest. But this is what I was expecting. I was expecting a lot of this until we actually get to make transfers in January. And maybe bring in a bit of quality. This is the 4th save now. Oh, we've actually forced of Areola. It's not like we've not had chances here, as they bring Cresswell on. Ball goes in. Ogbene gets on the end of it, and there's one consolation goal at least. No idea why Ogbene is actually the target of those corners, because he's not exactly the tallest. He's not short, but as you can see there, Lockyer is taller. A little bit odd he's the target. Mind you, that's just a symptom of EAFC and who they decide to put on corners where. EAFC needs a set-piece manager, that's for sure. Much like Football Manager has solved in recent times, they need a set-piece manager to make sure that you've got your best aerial threat at the near post if that's what you're trying to do from corners. But nonetheless, even if he's not necessarily the best aerial threat, he's gained us a goal back, which may come in crucial clutch later on. Although, ball acquired again. Ogbene. Never mind. It was fun while it lasted. Don't concede another now. For the love of Paqueta with a flare. Tackled by Nakamba. Lovely jubbly. I think arguably actually we probably ought to be prioritising a centre-back to play there rather than Nakamba, because not his natural position, even if the game kind of is happy to let him do it. Yeah, well, this possession from West Ham has actually snuffed out the chance of us getting 2 goals, so another consolation maybe, or another one for them is the only thing that remains as a question. War perhaps from distance. It's a save at least. Oh yeah, goalkeeper. Maybe goalkeeper should be a priority. Although Kaminsky, obviously brand new, a little bit reluctant to do that. Just get the ball and clear it and end this suffering, please. Oh no. The referee doesn't allow another corner, thankfully. It's not a great loss. 3-1. It's a little embarrassing, but also a little expected. The West Ham supporters obviously will be the ones going away much happier. A flash of goodness from Ogbene, though. A tiny smidgen of hope as the rotation striker. Didn't do amazingly well at that press conference, but Kaminsky is up for Belgium. Ogbene for Ireland makes a lot more sense. Brown for Scotland, Lockyer for Wales. I mean, presumably we don't play in international breaks. Some of the reports coming back on the left wing backs now. There's Alvaro Fernandez, 3 million. He's on loan at Granada from Man United, so that's obviously one for the summer. Ruggieri, another classic as well of the genre. Not really that superb in any area as things stand. Overall 69 currently, but if he's anything like his FM counterpart, he should have development space, showing great potential. 2.5 million from what is Atalanta. After that finishing display against West Ham, I am taking a punt on Almos Ali here. See if he can get him on a reasonable wage and squad role. I'm actually happy with everything except what his goal bonus was. At the very least, as a free agent, it'd be an asset to flip later on. It may be a couple of million, I suspect, but... And here he is, the new striker. Hopefully a little bit more lethal than the 2 that were up front last time round, as I rudely fob him off there a little bit. At least there's a photo opportunity, which again, I don't seem to be too thrilled with. Thompson's position change comes through from a CM. Let's see how that affects us overall. It does go up 1. And as a cam, there's no option that improves your defensive work rate, which is why I want to keep that other guy as they are. High medium, I'm okay with. Follow my comments in the first game. Kabori's on loan. Forgot about that. So we do need a right wing back then, because we need one that actually belongs to us. But we'll see if we can actually sign Kabori afterwards, maybe. I'm confused by Ali because he was scouted as 71 overall. Came in claiming to be a 72, and now he's back to 71 again. Almos Ali on the bench for our trip to Craven Cottage. Won't introduce him to the starting lineup just yet, even though I did have to agree to important player. Fulham kick off the first half here at Craven Cottage. And Panzu tackling and gaining the ball. Lockyer, same 11 for us. Wayward pass from Tom Lockyer, unfortunately, has now left both the space that he used to be in and the ball in their possession. Fortunately, that wayward pass from Lockyer has resulted in Fulham coming forward. They haven't exactly capitalised on the breakaway they had, though. Vinicius. Fulham still dangerous here. Kearney. Back to Lukic. Decortiva Reed. Willian. Well, we were doing quite well keeping them away from the goal, and then all of a sudden, Willian had line of sight. Maybe I should try Tim Cooling goal. Tom Lockyer, genuinely baffled by his movement there. He was the one who was in fault for giving them possession in the first place. He went way too advanced, lost the ball, and then created the gap for them to run into in the first place, which then fortunately stopped them from exploiting at that moment in time. But they maintained possession, kept it calm, kept the ball passing around, and eventually Willian found the space and punished us. Paulinho is just on another level, unfortunately, in this Fulham squad. Like, even amongst the Fulham squad, he's on another level. Let alone ours as well. Castagna, Vinicius, Decortiva Reed, Vinicius. Why are we just leaving the space like that? It's a great save by Kaminsky, though, that time. Fulham, played it short from the corner. We have at least put it out for another corner and not conceded for a change. I never thought this would be easy. That's why it's a challenge. Oh, turns out we can't actually even defend normal corners either. And there is their star man. Ignored the short corner. And, yeah, straight to Paulinho. Lockyer the one marking him and Lockyer failing again. Do we actually have to question Lockyer's place? Because so far in this game, he might as well not have existed. But Mpanzu's running a little bit clear here. Doesn't get the ball to Adebayo in the box, unfortunately. And now Fulham get to attack again. Camber. It'd be great if the team actually responded to my instructions. Trying to put Osho in the middle rather than Lockyer, because Lockyer's just getting all sorts of exposed in this game for some reason. Puts in a good block there. Fulham maintain possession though, and Castagne has mugged off Giles. Good chance from Lockyer there as well. Giles once again being mugged off. Can you stop giving away possession, Giles? I don't want to have to consider your position. Although, in fairness, there are 3 left wing-backs. Barkley being played in, but not making the most of the advantage he had there. Perhaps just speed an issue. Giles on the ball, has Barkley in attendance behind him. Just playing it between Giles and Barkley on this left-hand side for the time being. Being marshalled out a little bit. Barkley with an opportunity. Leno with a good save. Kabore is not going to get there in time, unfortunately. And Willian can help break away for Fulham, but they're not exactly doing it with the utmost urgency just yet. Ah, and there's the gap. Morris, Adebayo, breaking through, space. He's gone for it. It's another good save from Leno. How good are the opponent goalkeepers so far? Robertson using his speed. Adebayo, thankfully, pacey enough to keep hold and touch with him. And that change of possession there, interception-wise, caused the end of yet another disappointing half. Like, away games are always going to be tricky. I'm disappointed in the manner in which we lost the home game to West Ham, but the away game's less surprising. We're 2-0 down. Disappointed we conceded a corner. Again. What looked to be a little bit of a foul to me ended up being actually a valid tackle, apparently, according to the game. They are doing very well to fashion a chance here and forces another Kaminsky save. Right, corner number 3. Can we defend this one? Or 4, in fact, actually, I think it is. Plays it short. This is the best strike rate we've seen so far, corner-wise, in terms of tactics. And we're still yet to get the ball off them so far. And there we go, finally. Okay, we've managed to succeed in defending a short corner for the first time. Sammy Lukonga coming forward. Kabore does get the ball to Barkley just in time before he loses possession, and Mpanzu decides to take on that mantle instead and gives away that possession. They call Diva Reed. Back to Adebayo. I have to say, Fulham looking very good in possession every time they get the ball. It's been very difficult to get the ball off them once they've got it, and they've fashioned another chance here. Frankly, Vinicius should have done better with that chance. As they bring on Iwobi on for Deco Diva Reed, I think that was. And we'll take off Barkley and Adebayo and bring on Ali for his debut. Oh, he ought to change his number thinking about it as well. Oh, Morris, why have you just hoofed it? There actually was a person you could have passed to there. Thankfully, their pass isn't that great and it has gone to Lukonga, but he is swamped by 4 players immediately. And they gain possession. The West Ham game was just frustrating in the manner in which we conceded the goals. This, arguably, is just the most all-round frustrating game I've watched so far. Because I've just not seen, and there's 3, I've just not seen us have possession and actually use it remotely wisely. Whereas every time they get the ball, they just work it through us like we don't even exist. Like, the reaction time to that pass was shockingly bad. Marvellous Nakamba being somewhat adequate Nakamba there. I say away games always going to be trickier than the home games, and we've lost possession again immediately. 3 of these players have press-proven temporary play styles. Not that I've seen them ever function in this game so far. And what's the point of giving them press-proven if they just lose the ball immediately every time and again? I mean, that was more on them rather than being pressed, but 105 passes for Fulham just shows you the extent in which they're flipping heck. It's just another easy goal for them. I may have forgotten to fix my quick substitutions. Ogbenny's coming on for Kabore, which should really be the case. Oh, they're in again. Looks like it. Robinson, I don't know what Lockie's done there. He's done a very, very successful tackle and then ran away. It's been an absolute disaster class from Luton so far. Lockie gets on the end of that corner at least. But second phase, here we go. Oh, thankfully Iwobi's shot, not great. I would have been very disappointed had we conceded that one. Ali's made a good run. Chong's not paid attention, or at least not felt confident enough to try and attempt it. I'm not sure that was intended for somebody Lukonga, but it's worked out, fortunately. Chong should just get that ball, but he hasn't decided to take it. I think that's more game engine than anything. Oh, and they're in again. What are we doing, lads? What are we doing? Nakamba deals with that at the very least. Oh, they pronounce it Doherty, do they? Well, Doherty on for a cameo anyway, regardless. I feel like the camera changed at the end there. It's a total shambles, really, from Luton Town today. Thoroughly, thoroughly beaten in every aspect of the game. A rethink required, perchance. I mean, West Ham would just beat Manchester City, so I feel slightly less bad about that now. Apparently we've been beaten twice by Fulham now. I genuinely think it is regarding that first loss of the season as belonging to every club we then play from there on in. Salvage morale, at least. Nets and Scully both on the scouting. A little bit more expensive than the previous options we've seen. And Hugo Beno from Wolves. All of them potential left-backs apart from Scully, who's a right-back. Good preparation for this home game against Wolves. Let's hope it actually pays off. Oh, well, look to be a bright start is immediately being thwarted by the fact we've lost possession to Wolves here. Ignore it. Matthias Cunha puts through Jordao. We've been through this rigmarole with Doherty, is it, before? So we'll call him Matt. Although, to be fair, our own player, we've just learned to pronounce Doherty as well, so... Oh, great running from Mpanzu here. Option to play someone in. Fails to do it, but does have Giles on the outside here. Nicks inside. Plays it back to Barkley sensibly. Distance shot. King in goal. What is going on with opposing goalkeepers? Leno was in goal for Fulham, though. And Areola was in goal for West Ham, so they had their first choice goalkeepers in there. But no Jose Sarr. King feels like he might be a little bit more exploitable. That being said, Jordao on a run here. Kaminsky makes a save. It's something. Cunha to take their corner doesn't feel right. But won't complain that their striker's taking it, eventually. That being said, he may play short to someone. There's Pedro Neto. Yes, indeed. Another fine save. Keep it in, mate. He doesn't. That's Jordao with the strike again, who, if I remember right, was more of a defensive midfielder, but if I'm not mistaken, has taken both of the opportunities so far for them. Neto standing over it on this side. But they play it short again. I don't know what the obsession is for AI taking these corners short almost every time. Neto obviously a danger man. Jordao, maybe playing actually a little bit more advanced midfielder-wise. We got the ball to Morris quite neatly, actually. Mpanzu rolls the player. Nice. Barkley. A little bit more sensible. Yes, maintains the possession. Good. Kabore back to Barkley. Good touch. Takes it away from the defender, but now has forced himself off the pitch entirely. I don't know why I bother sometimes. But yeah, King in goal for them is curious indeed, because I don't think that's even the regular backup. Although, did Sarr leave in real life? I can't remember what happened with Sarr. I just know I was very frustrated at him on Football Manager, so... Fabio Silva. Plays in Jordao. Cunha with a bit of space. Thwarted. Gets the ball. No, he doesn't. Just about keep that out of the touch of the strikers there. But ball falls straight to Neto because we're useless. And he has rolled the defender there. And scored. It would be great if we could just go more than one half without just doing something defensively incompetent. Osho there. Just runs around Cunha and gives him the space to shoot. Not best pleased with that one. And Barkley's immediately run into Wolves play. Maintains possession though. And does get the ball to Kabore. Unfortunately is less successful in his own passing endeavours. Jordao coming forward once again for them. Jordao seems to be being afforded an awful lot of space. I don't really know. Fabio Silva just run round. I actually don't know who that is. It must be Osho. Another corner. Put in normally though and saved thankfully. That ball was about to be thrown to a Wolves player had Adebayo just not randomly been in the way of the line of the throw. And we passed it back on the stroke of half-time, which is not always a sensible idea because at least Nakamba's done well there, but... I feel like the camera angle's gone a little bit funky here because we appear to be stuck not entirely in the right place. They've scored, though. Straight away. It's just a good goal. Charges through the back line as if we don't even exist and smashes it near side. I'm hoping the camera angle resorts itself out afterwards because... we might have to think of alternative camera angles to make this work. No, it hasn't. It's stuck randomly in our half. Oh, I know what's happened. Worked it out. For some reason, it was targeting a specific player. Zala's charging for Wolves. Thankfully, he's just run off the pitch much in the same way Ross Barkley did earlier. I mean, at least Neto is apparently very predictable in where he places his shots, which makes it all the more annoying that we conceded the second of the two. Giles. Unnecessary aerial ball to Mpanzu when he could have just done it on the ground, but gets the ball back. That's played into... neither of the strikers, really. It kind of went between the two of them. Neither of them knew which one was actually meant to be going for it. And we lost possession, naturally. Okay, bad pass from them at last. Osho. Barkley. Finds Sambila Lokonga. Lockyer coming forward for no apparent reason, but Kabore on the ball. And Mpanzu finds Adebayo. Turns, strikes, scores. Flipping heck, a glimmer of hope at last in this episode. Just muscles off the defender and somehow still, I don't know why the goalkeeper thought we were going to smash it the other side, but his only option was really to smash it near post. Finally, maybe reaping the rewards of not having a first-choice goalkeeper in their goal. So with Lockyer now, that's a great ball forward to Sambila Lokonga, actually. Kabore plays in Barkley, who's come out wide to help out. Morris, back to Adebayo. Oh, I don't know why Morris didn't really go for himself there. That's a bit of a shambles. It either needed Adebayo to smash it first time, or Morris to make an attempt of his own. We've forced into all 5 substitutions at one time. But a corner, which has not been provided with a short option for him. So we will be aiming presumably at Ogbene again. Forces a save out of King. Ogbene, the surprising aerial threat so far. Lokonga tries to get it to Ogbene again. It's another shot on target though. I don't know why I'm sounding so surprised now. It's 3 out of 3 that they've aimed at Ogbene when he's been on the field, and 3 out of 3 he's got on the end of. Unfortunately, only 1 out of 3 converted into goal in the one game where it didn't matter at that point in time. This one would have been an equaliser had either of those gone in. Wolves player still going. Doherty deals with it. Mpanzu. Bell. Lockyer. I'm not entirely certain the goalkeeper knew he was meant to go for that, but he did get there in the end, and he's just hoofed it to Lamina because, well, I mean, another thing in common between the two games. Football Manager and EFC, goalkeepers who just hoof it up the field to nobody in particular. Oh, that was bad from us. I mean, so far, so good, preventing them having this. Kaminsky holds on to it. Unfortunately, Wolves held on to possession for so long there at the end, we never got a chance to counter and get an equaliser. But a little bit more spirited, that one. It was a glimmer of hope, just... Yeah, well, I'm gonna bite the bullet and actually start. Ali will start against Man City anyway because we're going to rotate for that. Another loss. The wheels are well and truly coming off. Oh, good, Manchester City 4-1 North Forest. According to the introduction there, Josh Gargario scored 2 goals last game out, so great. That's their defender. They are playing Haaland, but they do also have a player called O'Reilly on the pitch, so a baffling mixture of first teamers and not even bench warmers. Chong's being played through there. And this would be just the De Bruyne gets in the way. I was about to say, it would be just our fortunes here to somehow get a result against Manchester City away from home, having fluffed the opportunities in the last game. Mbete in their defence, though. I did think for a second, though, that De Bruyne was in their defence. But no, he isn't. He was just temporarily there for whatever reason. And it's an opportunity, Peperula in maximum swing, it feels like. Risking first teamers like Ederson, Haaland, De Bruyne, but then playing players like Fiorini, Mbete and O'Reilly. Haaland, O'Reilly, Bob. That's much more like it in terms of players you'd expect to be playing in this kind of fixture. Bob made an impact on the Manchester City squad in real life, scoring a few occasions in fixtures like this. But I have to admit, O'Reilly, a player that I'm not particularly familiar with, and Mbete I'm familiar with as a loan option in Football Manager for lower league teams, and Fiorini similarly. O'Reilly with a fierce challenge there to gain possession immediately. Luton not opting for the kickoff glitch, and we've just allowed O'Reilly the space and the time to actually have an opportunity. Crawling goal for us. As much as I loved him crawl, I'm not expecting much of a performance there. I have thrown him to the wall somewhat. But De Bruyne puts this ball in. Burke at the very least forces Haaland not to get on the end of it. Burke, the impressive player last Carabao Cup fixture, and the one who angled really to put his name in the hat for the first 11. This is Almos' opportunity to do so as well up front, but let's be honest, he'll be feeding off scraps today, I suspect. But the ball does make its way back to Chong. Could play it through. No, goes to Doherty on the right. Brown plays Chong back in. It's a great chance, actually. And a good save from Ederson. Bob can come away with the ball, though. Haaland now, being Haaland. Although holds up the ball, attempts to actually get Grealish a header, which is not the way around you want that interaction to happen, really. O'Reilly, tackled by Potts. Good challenge. Almos will find Bell. That's Chong now to run away. And then just gives it back to Bell, who is then... Well, I thought fouled by Bob, but it's gone out for a throw-in. Bell does well to escape Bob this time. And who then just gives it to Chong, who then gives it away. O'Reilly, I'll be honest, in terms of the tactical direction, I'm not playing to the strengths of the Luton squad. This is more a long-term thing. I want them to learn to be good at this, so that then they can be good at this. Which means a whole lot of pain in this first half of the season before we can even get players who can help. Haaland, I'll be honest, I'll take 1-0 at half-time. But, no, not a chance there. I thought he was about to go for it. They've gone backwards a bit here. I'm wondering if they're about to call half-time regardless. They are. I'll be honest, the second-string Luton side are doing well to hold off a mostly first-team Manchester City. But it's not a first team, and that's made the goal for them. It is Oscar Bob. 1-0. Clark on the ball. The camera thing happened again. I think it's weirdly a result of making alterations at half-time. Cavaldio charging. Fiorini being hunted. I'm not sure EAFC actually kind of understands like loan rules and things like that, so we may have been able to play Caboria. I just hadn't thought that we might have not been able to play Caboria anyway because he's on loan. But I actually have no idea if EAFC actually kind of abides by those kind of play against Pirate Club rules or not. I mean, it is all just Manchester City possession, but at the very least, we've stopped them having a shot for 15 minutes. I don't think we've had the ball once in this half. We'll get it now by virtue of that ricocheting to a Luton player. Anderson. We go to Everton for the final game of this episode. So they bring on Ruben Dish. Why? I mean, in fairness, it is only 1-0. Pep apparently actually feeling the... Oh, no, it's 2-0, never mind. Although Haaland just seemed to stop functioning there. The robot malfunctioned. But yeah, Pep seemingly not actually happy at 1-0 there. Just wants to prevent us from scoring by bringing on a world-class defender for their youth prospect. As another youth prospect passes it off to De Bruyne there. And we just let him run into the box. It's 2-0. I didn't even need him to make the shot for that to be 2-0. Like, that was patently obvious. I'll make that substitution. Is there an issue with an AI control fight back where the defenders just run around the opponent players rather than actually attempting to tackle them? Because if there is, we may have to do something about it. But it will mean we have to retrain every single right wing back and left wing back, and we won't be able to make those changes until January, really, where we can sign regular left and right backs. Oh, we can't play Kabori, he's on the bench. Apologies if the camera's been weird for a moment there. It did change. The camera keeps changing of its own accord, and I don't really know what's happening. My formation changed of its own accord, and I don't really know how it happened. Phil Foden on. This is not getting any nicer for us. A corner comes to nothing, and we give the ball to Manchester City. Thankfully, we muscle off Phil Foden there. But Kabori gets double-teamed, and we lose possession. Foden to De Bruyne. Haaland. Tackled by Potts, who is, on paper, our worst defender. Cruel also mugging off Haaland there is unnecessary, really. I mean, it'd be lovely if we brought this ball forward rather than sideways, but on the other hand, I just want this game to end as the substitution appears to have got stuck on the graphics there. And not a wholly unexpected defeat there, but weirdly, probably actually the most respectable defeat of them so far. They had 2 good chances and they scored both of them. Simple as that, really. The rest of the time, we actually managed to keep them out pretty much. They actually had 6 shots, I don't really remember them. But we had 4. You were torn apart by Manchester City, weren't you? Could you have done better? We weren't torn apart! That was the best defeat we've had so far. Those interview questions were baffling. We were torn apart. Didn't look like how we were going to score. We had 4 shots. And apparently O'Reilly is a world-class player, despite the fact that he's clearly like the most youth prospect of youth prospects. Good to note that EAFC press conferences make as much sense as Football Manager ones. Right then, a trip to Goodison Park to round things off on this incredibly disappointing episode so far. Sean Dyche, of course, their manager. I don't believe the Everton in EAFC has to contend with the points deduction. Quite frankly, that points deduction could be the difference between relegation and not for us in this difficult season so far now. Still on 4 points. But away we go, as part of the graphics appear to have got a little bit stuck there, but okay, they've gone now. Morris. I don't really know why we're not playing in the home kit. Morris to Kabori. It's a great ball down to Adebayo, who rolls it and then runs into 3 different Everton players, it felt like. Lockyer. Great ball to Morris first time there, though. Barkley, unfortunately, not helpful. John, for them, on Yango. Decore. I'm getting the sense they've rotated for the cup game midweek, which they must have been a part of as well. And now they've done like the other half of that rotation here, because there's some players I'm not familiar with. I recognise the name Dobbin, but I don't think he's a first teamer. Onyango certainly isn't. Not that it matters. We'll just concede against anyone. Why does Onyango look a little bit like Tyler Adams? Yeah, we'll just give him the space, the opportunity to turn, and then they just smash it past the goalkeeper. You know, simple things. I should have thought that counts. Tyler Onyango. His first name is even Tyler as well. Okay. Sensible play so far. Sambi Lokonga just gives it straight to Decore. That's one of the worst passes I've ever seen. Dobbin. Godfrey. Nottingham Forest still 3rd in the Premier League, apparently. I'm very confused where Everton are going right now, but John on the ball. Back to Andre Gomez, who still exists. Harrison. Ridiculous pass. It actually went to the player, but a good challenge, I think, by Lockyer. Barkley, sensible. And Panzu. We'll find Morris again. Cute ball out to Giles, whose first touch is woeful, and they've given the ball away again. I thought we were finding new inventive ways to lose the ball. Adebayo, though, somehow regains the possession. Barkley. Oh, back to Adebayo. That's an insane ball. Adebayo. 1-1. We're back in it. Barkley saw a pass that even I didn't in the moment. This ball essentially across 3 Everton defenders. Gives Adebayo the space and the time and the opportunity just to slide it past someone that isn't Jordan Pickford. Yeah, Lewis Dobbin, 64 overall. Tyler Onyango, 60 overall. Still scored. Generally thought I was about to be rickrolled there, but Ryan Astley, 63. Kyle John, 63. And João Virginia's in goal, 67 overall rating. Some potent bench players, but yeah, there's some rotation here that I have to assume is cup related, but we obviously did our full rotation for the cup. Yeah, I'm genuinely very disappointed we've conceded to a 60 overall striker. I don't think he was even a striker, actually. John, that's another good chance for them. I'm just watching half of these highlights and just going, what are we doing? Actually, I'm not fully certain, but is that the first time an opponent's shot has actually just missed the target? Aside from maybe like a corner header. Is that the first time just like a regular in-play shot has gone wide of the target? Because I feel like every other shot has kind of just been saved or gone in. Giles, though, puts a cross in. That is Kabori at the back post. That is 2-1 Luton. And I think this may well be the first time we've scored 2 in a game. I can't remember if we actually got a second against Brighton in the end, or if that ended 4-1. But Kabori with a flying of flying headers. Wow. I meant to say flyest of flying, but you knew what I meant. Before it goes in, I am starting to lose it. Much like our team has 4 times in a row. our on-loan Manchester City player, making this 2-1 Luton. And we are on course, as things stand, for our first away win of the year. And only the second, full stop. Giles, Adebayo, if we can get Morris in. I nearly called him Morrison, I think, there. I know what happened. I just merged his two names, didn't I? I nearly said Morton. It's another corner, though. The ball's played in. Barkley, I think that might have been actually a defensive header back to his goalkeeper. I don't think Barkley got on the end of that. Virginia taking all the time in the world to get this back in play again, and that should see us half-time. It does indeed. We're going to half-time leading. Second half gets underway, though. And Harrison straight to Beto. Dobbin on this left-hand side. Of course, their substitutes will only make their team more dangerous as the game goes on. Ours will only make our team worse. As Paul has scored for Newcastle. That's a bug that's emerged, apparently. I can only assume that's Paul Dummett scoring for Newcastle. Similar rotation happening for them as well. Adebayo, I guess not confident he could run on there with an acrobatic pass to Giles. Morris with time. Virginia with a solid save. And here comes Dobbin off for Danjuma, one of those more dangerous substitutes I was talking about just then. Sammy Lukonga to put this corner in, though. I don't know why Barkley's the target. He's got the ball and chested it down, though. Oh, it's gone to Morris. He's run into the post more than anything. That should have been, that should have been 3. We have been royally mugged off there by a lack of reactions, I think. Just because it seems I didn't actually adequately refresh my bench options after the cup game. I am going to have to bring Ogbeni on for Barkley, which is not the usual position, but Cam will do him. Barkley, though, against his former team, right? Last action he'll take, though. This is genuinely the most dangerous we've seemed. It feels like the team have got the message now in regards to how to play, although that's not how you play. Good recovery from Osho, though. There are still defensive question marks, whether it's just AI or formation-based, what have you. But, I mean, defensive AI doesn't seem great when you're even in control of the players, let alone when you're not. Danjuma making space, Kaminsky with a good save. I'll be honest, these changes aren't much of a refresh just because they never got much of their energy back, but John's now hooked off for Dwight McNeil. I actually thought he was the right back. Doherty and Chong on. Chong obviously taking over Cam Ogbeni, moving to right wing back. It's Gomez to put this in. Kaminsky with a convincing gather, actually. Credit where credit's due. That's Ogbeni on the ball. He will play in Carlton Morris. Chong's available. Ogbeni's available. Ogbeni is very available, but Chong now. Although, he's making his own space, really. Doherty, never mind. We found the one player that it wasn't good for. Ogbeni should have gone himself, should have played in Chong. There were many, many options that were better than the one that ended up happening. Andre Gomez being forced to put a cross in. Danjuma with a header. Kaminsky nearly saves it into his own net. I've been furious if that had happened. Ashley does find Onyango, unfortunately. Tarkowski. Tackled by Sambi Lukonga, though. Mpanzu to play in Morris again. Ogbeni. No. Sorry, it is Ogbeni. It was Lukonga making the run. And that comes off an Everton player, I'm pretty certain. Disagana Guy, I think, is on. As they finally bring in the first teamers one by one. Sambi Lukonga. First time that's not gotten to Ogbeni, I think, from a corner. I think our camera's changed again. It has. Oh, it's the quick substitute, isn't it? That's what's... It's the same command as the camera change. Everton looking reasonably dangerous here. Beto kind of sprinting his way around the defence. Sambi Lukonga and Nakamba between them. Work it out. Morris baits in the side challenge and then gives the ball away anyway, so what was the point? Just take the hit, frankly. That would have worked out better for us. Cross comes in. Beto under it. Oh, it's in! I thought that was over. That is incredibly disappointing way to concede. You can see in the far distance there, the Luton Town player is devastated, and so am I, frankly. McNeil naturally left-footed, because that's a good ball, I think. And that's an even better header. Beto, I'm not fully certain has any aerial playstyles or anything like that. If he does, they've been utilised well there. I wonder if I can check. And unfortunately, we should have put this game to bed ages ago. As players actually now come on a little bit late. I forgot those substitutions were waiting to come on for all of 2 minutes. We might get one attack if we get the ball up the pitch quickly, but that's not happening. Although, nope, never mind. It's still a point. And it's the only point of this episode. Disappointing. Could have and should have put it to bed a couple of times. Could have easily been 4 for us, I think. Norberto Gomez Betancourt is his full name. What an incredible name. I mean, the same graces I don't think Burnley and Sheffield United are faring too well either. I've just seen the next fixture. Luton Town versus Spurs. 5 points, 5 points. The relegation battle. Chelsea have 1 point, and it was against us. You're yet to play a 7th game. I'm not fully certain why. They're not the only ones, actually. But the relegation picture looks as follows. It is 3 relegated sides, with Chelsea behind them and Spurs in front of them. With Brentford to boot as well, goal difference-wise, is what's keeping them ahead. I told you goal difference would matter. Burnley's is the only one as bad as ours. West Ham are unbeaten, so that loss feeling slightly less bad now. West Ham, Aston Villa, Newcastle, Liverpool, Forest. What is going on? And Spurs and Chelsea in the bottom 5. We'll keep an eye on what's going on with Chelsea. But thank you for joining me, and thank you for suffering along with me. If you have enjoyed this somehow, then do like, comment, and subscribe. What a slog this is going to be if the games are going to be a bit like that. But, of course, transfer window will open in January, and we'll be able to sort some of this out. Maybe, perhaps. Let's hope. Until then, though, we've got 3 more months to get through. And December, I think, the most fixture-heavy of those. So, good luck us. Good luck us indeed. Do let me know about your preferences regarding to cam, not cam, signing suggestions, all that jazz, sound levels. Everything that I've asked you your feedback on, please let me know. Do get active in the comments below. It is very much appreciated on that front as well. But until next time, thank you for watching. Ta-ra.